Jeez.
Elijah coming in with the bangers. CanProFile fans, it's been a while. You got Niko and Serg back together, and we're going to do a 2021 CPL season preview of the upcoming season, obviously. Serg is back from his inside reporting this offseason. I am done being the social media guy for York United, and we are back being CanProFiles. And Serg, it's been a while. I haven't spoken.
You're done being York reporter?
Well, now I'm York goalkeeper, so my roles have changed now that the season has officially started. So, yeah, I guess so.
Off-season job.
Yeah, in CPL, you got to have two jobs. So, off-season, I'm a social media guy, and during season, I stick to goalkeeping. Serg, I've been talking to you in probably 6 months ever since I departed. What's been new with you? Tell everyone.
Yeah, it took me a while to be able to talk to you again. When Tommy broke the news to me that you weren't coming back, because you didn't tell me yourself. No, I'm kidding. But
I couldn't.
Oh my, why couldn't you?
I was scared. I was scared to see your reaction.
You still had to pay some rent. That's why you couldn't leave. Nothing, man. Like everybody else, off season has been crazy. Work, side projects. Both of us are in a B coaching license now that the league has put on for us, which has been pretty cool. It started off slow, but I think that helped a lot of us with our schedules. I'm still working at that same job that I got in our first or second episode of CanProFiles. So
you had the interview.
The interview. What episode was that? Probably our second, right? A day in the life. That was a day in the life. So that was it. Just happened to be the interview day, and I'm still working in that same job. Taking courses right now to finish my degree. So hopefully, actually, when we're in the bubble, I'll be graduating. So I want you to maybe throw me a little party after I graduate. You haven't graduated yet, right?
I've graduated from the School of Life.
Masters, with a master's.
I got it all. Every degree you can get, I have it.
What about you, Bob? What have you been doing?
Yeah, a lot of the same. I mean, it's moved back now to Toronto, my hometown, where it all began. I'm kind of getting settled in. It's been a bit of a bumpy ride. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, it's been awesome getting back to York, seeing my family. It's been a long time since I've been able to spend some like quality time with them. Usually it's like I'm there for like a month and then I got to dip out to a new country, new city, new continent. Who knows? But it's been good. But yeah, I'm doing the course as well. Like you mentioned there, again, trying to figure out, or at least starting to think about life after soccer, so you kind of have a plan in place. I think it's a great tool that the CPL has provided with us, being able to do this course. I don't know about you, but like, I've never really thought about being a coach, very seriously as like a career. But this course has kind of like opened my eyes to the possibilities of maybe being involved in the game as a coach after I'm done playing. So I've enjoyed it so far. Like you said, it started off slow, but it's picking up, and hopefully we can finish that up soon.
Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of these players. That there's a list that you can see of who's taken the course, and I mean, odds are not all of us have planned of being a professional coach after soccer, but it's nice to have a plan B, especially with something that we've been so fortunate to be a part of, and with our experiences, I think there'd be a lot of avenues of opportunities for us to use those licenses after soccer, even if it's not directly coaching, but just in the back office or anything like that, knowing how to build a team. And I think and you and I think we talked about this when we first heard about it, is like, it's interesting to see the coach's perspective of how they think when they're building a team and they're building tactics. So even if we're never going to use it, at least it opens our eyes to be more open to the information that comes in from our coaches.
Who on the Cavs do you think would be the best coach?
Okay. What age group? Professional coach, or coaching little Rugrats, or coaching like?
We'll start first, like youth development, so like U8 to U11, that age range there.
Well, if Joe wants to do it, Joe DiChiara, this guy just yells and is always like, guys, come on, let's do it. So that would be perfect for kids. In terms of college, me and you, man, come on, like assistant coach, head coach, or goalie coach,
Co-coach.
co-coach, and then professional. I think the guy with the most experience, or maybe the two guys with the most experience, Ledge, maybe Mason. Ledge is taking his A license right now. I think he has a lot of other licenses, but I think he'd be a great coach. A lot of experience.
He's got plenty of that. And then you're living in the same apartment that I was living in. And what room are you in right now?
You don't recognize Earl's room, bro?
No, I can't.
You wouldn't recognize the apartment. When my girlfriend came in, completely different apartment. So this is basically my office and her closet. So she gets technically a walk-in closet if you think about it. She walks into this room and it's all hers. Has a little makeup stand here, and then
This guy called my room a walk-in closet.
That's being generous to your room. Like that's how small it was. And then this guy goes ahead and buys the biggest bed frame that you can get for a while. Could you use your grandpa's bed frame, or did you never put it in?
I never put the bed frame in because the room was too small.
The room would have been, you wouldn't have had room to walk into the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but everyone comes in here and says, everyone who was here before comes in here after and is like, this is a completely different apartment. And at the beginning, you could tell she would get very like proud that, yep, I did this. Like, a girl's touch,
Yeah, well, what can you do?
There's things that we never thought of. We didn't need it. We just never thought of the things that she would think of. I don't know.
What's the biggest thing? What's the biggest thing you're like, I never would have thought of that?
Well, for one, we could have completely done the pots and pans thing that I do. Now we hang them, and we have so much more storage. So storage is huge because our apartment is terrible for storage. We have like 4 big cupboards, and that's it. So just things like that, and then different decorations to spice up the place. Not that, but like I said, we don't need it. Like, it doesn't affect our life. So yeah. Why would we get it, right?
No, fair enough. All right, should we jump into the CPL preseason, everything that's been going on? So I guess we can start with you. Like, how's preseason been? You guys have been going for a long time. I've heard rumors. What's it been like?
All legal. We've been following the guidelines, but I think it's been like 14 weeks now that we've been training, something like that. At the beginning, there was a 2-week break where we had a little scare, and then we shut it down right away. And ever since then, we've been smooth sailing ever since. It's been a lot of practices, a lot of tactical, a lot of scrimmages, and as time goes on, those scrimmages become more heated, more intense, more competitive, because right now it's the only competition that we've had in the last year and a half. So it goes from them being your teammates to them being your only competitor. So it's a fine line that we've been trying to balance, but it's been fun. And we are filming today after our last practice before we go to the bubble. And I'm very excited just to start playing games again. It's been way too long for me and for the team.
Yeah, fair enough.
How about you? What's your preseason been like? What's your off season been like? And tell everybody where you are right now.
Yeah, so right now
in that order.
Yeah, in that order. Okay. Well, yeah, off season has been obviously exciting. Moving clubs, got settled in here. Was eager to get started, kind of as soon as possible. Meet all my new teammates, meet the new staff, everything. Kind of get started right away. But COVID had other plans. Ontario was obviously affected the hardest. However you kind of want to explain it. We had to follow a bit stricter guidelines based on government rules that were put in place. So a lot of it, we were kind of on our own. Obviously, the staff gave us a plan that to work out on our own to kind of make sure we were staying in shape. So we've been doing that for about 9 weeks. We had a brief moment where we were able to train together, but then again, then Ontario went into another lockdown. But then, we finally got started in the last, I can't remember, maybe the last 10 days. We've been able to start training again, and it's been good. Again, I think the biggest thing for us was making sure everyone was fit. But I think, same thing with you. We haven't been in a competitive environment for so long. And then you just see right away, as soon as we got together, everyone was just excited to be playing soccer again. I think, you could ask any soccer player. No one really likes running and doing fitness during the off seasons, but we just kind of want to play soccer and compete and be in a team environment. So we're back in that now. We're doing everything we can to get up to speed because the first game's coming very soon on the 27th
against us. And I mean, answer a few things here. So you guys have a very young team, right?
Yeah.
You would say so. Do you think that bodes well for how durable your players have to be coming into the tournament? Well, not tournament. Sorry, they don't want us calling it a tournament. Into the kickoff, the opening of the season, because it's going to be an intense 8 games. And the commissioner had a Q&A with a CPL reporter, and he said that we're elite athletes and that we should be ready at all times. But in my opinion, and I think many others' opinions, 2 weeks isn't a lot of time to get ready. And I don't care how many Zoom sessions you do, how many 5K runs you do in below 20 minutes. Training and competing are very different than just running and fitness. And I don't know. It sounds like you guys have been okay in terms of injuries, but do you think that it bodes well for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we're like you said, we're a young team, so you get that, fresh legs, eager guys. But I mean, injuries can pop up to any players, whether you're old or young. Like it's tough to really predict when injuries can come. Obviously, you're more what's the word I'm looking for? More
Prone?
prone to injuries when you get older and you have more kilometers in your legs and all that stuff. But again, it's that's I wouldn't say that's fair to say like, oh, we're a young team, so we're not going to face as many injuries.
Right.
The young guys are fit. So I think that's maybe a slight advantage. If you even want to say we have an advantage in any way, that's it. But we've been dealt a very difficult hand. If you're a poker player and you know anything about poker,
You
we've
fold this
got
hand.
dealt. No, we can't fold. That's the thing. That's one rule in this game of poker we're playing. You can't fold. So we
It's a
got
weird
dealt.
poker game. Yeah, you're right. It's,
Yeah, we got dealt 7-2 offsuit, and we are going all in, and we're gonna try to scare everyone.
favorite
Make you think we have 2 aces.
I was gonna say favorite poker hand. I think I know your favorite poker hand. It's
Go ahead.
Ace King. Do you have a favorite suit or no?
Oh, everyone likes the spades.
Okay, so is it Ace King for you, or is it double aces?
Well, double aces, of course. That is statistically the best hand in poker.
I'm not asking statistically. What do you feel more comfortable with? Because I'm pretty sure you've told me before Ace King is your favorite hand. Which I'm like, and you know me, I'm like, Niko, that's ridiculous. It's Ace.
Yeah, because you're the math guy. Yeah, I mean, Ace is my favorite. Ace King is second favorite. My third favorite hand is 6-9 of hearts. I don't know why, but it just seems right.
Yeah, I mean, I have no reasons why that would be your favorite hand. Can't come up with anything.
Also, I mean, like you said, I am in the bubble currently. We touched down this morning in Winnipeg. If you see feet here, I didn't Photoshop them in. This is my roommate.
They should guess.
Yeah, let's all CanProFile fans. Who do you think my roommate is? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is Dominic Zator. That's who it is. He is my roommate. We have put us two together. But yeah, so if you see this, it is him. He can't hear us, but he could hear me. But speaking of Zats, there's obviously been tons of off-season moves throughout the entire league, not just between our two clubs. What are some of the most exciting ones, do you think?
I mean, I think one of the biggest storylines, and I'm going to say it right off the bat, is you. It's God has dealt me a funny hand too, because my two probably closest friends in the league are both goalies, and now they both play for the same team. So it's up to me to be the middleman of. I hope you both play.
I think
I
if
hope
we
you
could
both
play with
play.
two goalies, we would.
I think obviously Zat's seeing if he can take his dominance from Cavs and translate it into helping York be more successful throughout the league, throughout the season. And then one of my friends growing up, Manuela Parisi, his move to Pacific FC has been. It could be very interesting to see how him and that front three play together. They were already creative last year, and so just adding him could be another huge weapon for them. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah, less inner squad moves that excite me. I have two really good friends that haven't been in the league. This will be their first time in the league. Brian Wright and Claude Lawson. We both played Ajax together in the youth growing up. And now they're both playing at Athletic Ottawa. Brian obviously has come from a good level. He's in MLS, and then he was playing in the USL with Birmingham Legion, I believe they're called.
Yeah,
He's proved he could score at high levels, and yeah, he's a good buddy of mine. So I'm excited to see how he does in Ottawa. And then Claude, he's kind of had almost the exact opposite route. He was playing in the NISA League. And then before the NISA League, he was playing in the MPSL with Detroit City FC. So he's never really gotten, I don't know, he's had tons of success playing for that club. I think he's their leading goal scorer of all time. But yeah, he's always been a good player, and he's always been a player where I'm like, I wonder when he's going to come into the CPL, because I always thought he was
right.
good enough. We've trained with him in the off season plenty of times, and I think that's been we both agreed that was a consensus that he's good enough to play in this league. So it's awesome to finally have him in this league, be able to compete against him. Again, the cool thing about this league is, eventually, paths cross, and it'll be cool to go up against those two guys.
Yeah, I think we're starting to experience what a lot of other domestic leagues are starting to experience. Guys that we've grown up with crossing paths, like you said, and having Canadian players come back home is huge. I know you and I both know a couple players that, especially you playing in Tasmania for a while. A couple players out there that could be at the level of CPL, could be given a chance, and could do well in the CPL. Which leads me to a point that could be very contentious as well. But what do you think of? And we've talked about this before, but just talking about it right now and bringing up this issue, if it's even an issue,
Right.
of the international minimums, having them here in our clubs. Do you think it's the right way to go in terms of building the league and making sure that our talent is above par, or above where it should be, or just we should give all Canadian players a chance?
No, again, I think in every league in the world, there's always international spots available for teams to pick and choose. I think when you get those international players, you're expecting them to raise the standard and almost bring a level of experience or talent to your club. And I think in that way, they could help grow the Canadian game. Since being in the league, I've played with great international signings that I think have helped teach other Canadian guys what it's like to be a pro and how to train properly and stuff like that. So I don't really have an issue with it. And again, I think there's still so many Canadian spots available that Canadian players that are good enough to play in this league and are at the level. I think it's very rare that there's players right now that aren't at the level that haven't been given the opportunity to play in the CPL. What are your
Right.
thoughts? Do you think I'm off by saying that? Like how many
No,
percentage of players do you think are out there right now that are Canadian that haven't been getting a chance or really are undiscovered?
Right. Well, before I answer that, and this is something that I don't know, maybe I'm ignorant to, but is that a normal rule where each team has to have a minimum in other domestic leagues? Because I know there's maximums, but I don't
Mm.
know if there's minimums. And that's what I'm saying is that we're trying to grow the Canadian game with Canadian players to bolster our national team. But if we keep having these minimums, maybe we're not getting to that as quickly as possible. Or this has to be the way because we don't have enough Canadian talent yet, and to have our league be at that level that's entertaining and that fans want to watch, we still need those international players. So to answer your question, I also agree. Like I don't think there are many. If there are, they're diamonds in the rough that somehow we don't know that they have Canadian citizenship or something like that, and they could be coming back to Canada. But no, very rare. And like you said, the internationals that we've seen in the league for the most part have been one of the best, if not the best on the team, or at least exciting players that improve the team and don't deteriorate the level of the play.
Yeah, and again, I think it's cool having international players, especially in Canada, because Canada's a melting pot. There's so many different cultures here. Um, you know, you come into a city like Toronto, and then you bring a player from, South America or Mexico, and then there's a Mexican community here that are now like, oh, there's a Mexican player that plays for York United. We really like now we're interested even more so. So again, I think
Definitely,
it's a
that's
good
huge.
it's a marketing tool as well, and again, it's trying to bring more eyes to the league. And again, it's cool because then these guys come from different countries, and then their friends are now watching the league. So again, it's all
Yeah.
about bringing eyes, and it's a different perspective. And yeah, what players do you think could maybe come into this league that you think maybe haven't been given a chance? Do any of them like
Um,
jump to the forefront?
well, Raph Reynolds, we both know Raph Reynolds, and I'm not sure if he's even interested in coming back yet because it looks like he's enjoying his time overseas. But I do think he could be at a level that he could help a team. I don't know if it's a starting spot on a top team or a starting spot on a bottom team or anything in between, but it's it's enough. He has enough talent where he should be given an opportunity to play in this league. And maybe with the expansion teams coming into to the league, that's going to be a bigger possibility for these players to come home.
Mhm.
So that is exciting. But yeah, Raph Reynolds is one, and I know I'll let you speak about the other because I think we both have similar thoughts on one of our friends.
Yeah, one of our good buddies, Iski. I'm actually wearing his shirt right now, Flaneur, deliberately aimless. Yeah, he played college with me. He's a versatile player. He can kind of play many positions in the attacking role. Yeah, I mean he's playing in Germany right now, kind of in the lower leagues out there. But yeah, he's an exciting player. Again, I think put him in an environment that's a high level. I think he's one of those guys that kind of joins the level of the environment he's in. Where if he's in a lower
Adapts.
environment, he kind of
Yeah.
settles there. But his level comes up to the higher level he plays in. If that makes sense, I don't know if I'm articulating
No, definitely.
myself very
Yeah.
well there, but yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. He plays up to the level that he needs to, which could be a bad trait, but at this like you said, if given the opportunity to play on a good team, he could shine. So
Another thing that the league's doing really well, and I could speak for the club here right now, is I mean, we have so many young guys. Like you said, we are a young team, and a lot of those young guys on our team are Canadians. We got 5, 6, 7 exciting young players that if the CPL wasn't here, I don't think they would have a chance right now to be playing professional soccer. And if they were, it would have to be not in Canada. It would probably have to
away.
be in
Yeah,
Europe, Australia, wherever it is. So, um, again, I think opportunities to Canadians, if you're good enough, if you're hungry enough. And again, me and you both know that sometimes in this game, it's about, getting lucky and that opportunity kind of presenting itself and kind of taking your chance. And this league is providing a lot more than there was when we were growing up, when we were 16 or 17.
we had very little options, and just thinking about it now, and I could be, I didn't really know much about the NCAA until we both went to school. But I don't know what came first, the NCAA or MLS. Like when did the NCAA for soccer at least really start to take off? When the MLS became a league? Because now you can think, now that the CPL is here, hopefully our CIS system
The U
gets
Sports.
higher quality and youth sports gets higher quality, so we can start actually developing players from very early on and just showing them a clear pathway to pro. Uh, we have a lot of guys playing right now with us that are from the Foothills youth system, and man, they're close. They're close, and having us that they can look up to and say, like, I want to be on that team. We just signed 2 yesterday, so it's really good for them. And if I was a betting man, I would say the MLS came first, and then the NCAA soccer. Because I am a betting man, I'm willing to wager $1,000 that the MLS came first, and then the NCAA soccer really started taking off. So hopefully that's the same for our Canadian soccer as well.
That's actually a really good point. That's honestly something that I forget about is we're also developing U Sports, our Canadian sports universities, the soccer programs, obviously specifically, and those will get stronger. Because for the longest time, I always heard growing up like how strong York University was, and they were a powerhouse, and they always had these like insane players. I remember like Jonathan Lau played for them, Mark Anthony played for them, and hopefully you just see those programs growing, becoming even more professional than they were. And then again, maybe kids, because again, when I was always thinking like, no, I'm going to go to the NCAA. But now hopefully kids are like, you know what? I'm going to go to the CIS, prove myself there. Hopefully in the off seasons, be able to train with these local CPL clubs and then get drafted. And then that's the pathway to be a Canadian pro soccer player. COVID has obviously been shadowing the last year and a half. How do you think the league has handled COVID-19?
I think they've handled it well, but I think they could have handled it better in terms of letting us know how they're handling it. So, and what I'm trying to say about that is, what's the need for all the secrecy? Copa America changed destinations 5 times before they settled on where they are right now. And everyone was fine with it because we knew we were dealing with a global pandemic. And what are we going to do? Blame them for not being able to play because the COVID cases rise? So all I wanted was for the league to be transparent, either to the fans, everybody else, step by step, or at least to us. And if they were transparent in saying, okay, we're trying to go here. We're not sure yet, but we're trying to go here. Or we're trying to go here on these days. This is how many games we want to play. But we had to beg and beg and beg for them to tell us.
And tweet
and report for them to tell us a day before they announced everything. A day before. So that's the only reason. And I'm not trying to. This isn't a podcast or a video to promote the players' union, but it is. I am a proponent of it, and I do support it. And I think that this demonstrates why we need it and why it's so important. Because if we did have a players' union or something that's recognized by the league, we would have had a seat at the table in these discussions. These tweets that you're talking about would have never happened because there would be no one acting out, because we're all on the same playing field. We're all working together towards one simple goal, which is to start a season. And we would all understand the situations that we're in, but we don't, because we're ignorant of the facts all behind the scenes of what's going on. And I just got on a rant there, and I'm not even sure what you asked me anymore, because that's how strongly I feel about how annoying it was being just left in the dark this whole off season.
No, I mean, you answered the original question was, how do you think the league handled COVID-19? And It made sense what you're saying. And to be honest, I don't really have anything extra to add to that. Again, transparency was always a thing that we were after, and just not kind of waiting for news. But here we are in another bubble. Like you said, the kickoff coming to the bubble. How do you prepare for it? What's your bubble survival kit look like?
As much recovery stuff as possible, because the games are coming quick, and we're all in the same boat. Everyone's has 8 games in I forget how many days, but it's going to come quick. So boots, Theragun, roller, lacrosse ball, softball. Hopefully we can get some ice to do some ice baths in our tubs. All that stuff. Water, Gatorade, chocolate milk, bananas. I heard we have booster juice in the hotel, so hopefully we can take advantage of that. So let everybody know what we got there.
So this is a smoothie voucher from Booster Juice. I don't know if they're sponsoring us, but if you want to sponsor this podcast, Booster Juice, come and sponsor CanProFiles. We could work something out. But we get one free voucher a day for a smoothie of our choice. Go down to the lobby, you could pick it up. So again, little stuff like that. I could see that they've taken into account maybe the what's the word? The constructive criticism they might have received last year from the players. And you could see they've taken that account. Again, Booster Juice. We didn't have that last year, so I love myself some Booster Juice. So that's not too bad.
Any fine print on the voucher? Is it like one mini Booster Juice?
Let me see here.
And you can only get one fruit.
Limited one smoothie per day. Okay, so this is just a thing, and then you like tick it off here.
Stamp, wow, yeah. It looks like
it even has
that's a lot of them. That's a lot of them. Yeah,
30. It has 30 here. So, yeah, no fine print, which is good. That's a good thing. I wouldn't even thought about looking into that. That's why you're the business guy of this partnership.
I'm the brains. Here's the looks.
Yeah. Schedule. What's the schedule? Are you happy with it? Are you disappointed? Did you want 8 games? Did you want 12 games? Did you want 1 game? Did you want 4? What are your thoughts?
I mean, CPL Inside Reporter reported 6 games, and I think that would have been the ideal amount of games. More rest, and that's what we're going to need in terms of staying healthy. But at the same time, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to limit travel when we come back to our home markets, and that is a smart thing that the league's doing, is making the West teams play only East teams and making the East teams play only West teams. And that's very smart. I commend them on that part, so that when we get back to our home markets, we only have to do 1 trip to you guys instead of 2. It hurts my WestJet points, but I can live with it. It's okay, just for this year.
Yeah, I mean, on my end, I would have preferred 1 game because, like I said, we're a bit behind. And the thing, again, personally, I would have preferred that, they would have maybe made some adjustments for the Ontario clubs. Maybe we played less games. Maybe we played, again, I was hoping 4 games, 1 game a week. And then that would have given us more time to train and less time. Because right now, based on this format, I think it's going to be less training. It's mainly going to be recovering while we're here. So we're really going to have to build into it.
Yeah, I mean, 4 games makes sense to start a season, but then there'd be no point to the bubble. So I get why they're not doing 4 games, because then we'd be sitting on our asses for a week at a time waiting for the next game, and there's not really a point. But I completely understand that you and Forge are definitely got the short end of the stick, because you guys have barely been practicing. For your sake, you being my buddy, I hope your talents on your team overcome that for the first few games. But so what do you think about it?
I mean, yeah, like you said, I think it's been a bit difficult. But again, with our club, I think the thing we're really going with is like, all right, like we were at a disadvantage, no matter what you want to call it. We had less time to train and stuff like that. So it is a disadvantage in kind of anyway, but we're going to kind of embrace that. And what we can guarantee, what we're going to do is 100% effort. I don't think a single person on this team is not going to give everything they have while we're here. I think everyone on the team is playing for the staff. We fully believe in the staff. We fully believe in the players, the team that's been assembled, and we're going to battle. So like our promise to the fans, and we've made some calls to the fans this week before we went, season ticket holders and stuff like that, is we're going to do everything we possibly can in our power to fight and to prove that, it's a team that you can support, and, you got players in the team that's going to fight for the club, for the badge and everything. And we're going to give it our all. And if results don't really show our way right at the beginning, it's not going to be for a lack of trying, and there definitely won't be any give up or quit on this team, because again, the attitude that we've shown in these 2 weeks that we've been back together is, all right, this is what's happening, and there's no time to really bitch or moan about it. It's like, let's get to work and let's do everything that we can control what we can control, and go down swinging if that's what we have to do. So it's going to be exciting. But I think that's
changing.
Yeah. But I think that's like a perfect transition into addressing the elephant in the room, and let's talk about first round matchups. Obviously, we could talk about Cavs York, but we could also talk about the other ones. But I think everyone that's really tuning into this channel is really curious about our personal thoughts on June 27th, Sunday. I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern time. York United versus Cavalry FC. Serge, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I hope it rains, because Winnipeg can be hot. And I remember we played Winnipeg one time in 2019. It was very hot. But predictions, and I know it's a sensitive topic, because I'm obviously going to predict we're going to win. You're going to predict you're going to win. What I'll say is, you guys have no pressure, and that's the most pressure on us, because you guys have 2 weeks of training. You guys are going to come out firing, is what we expect, and you expect us to do the same. That's the Cavs way. We're going to put pressure on you and see how long you can take before you break. And I'm fine sharing that, because that's no secret to the league. That's how we play. That's our DNA. And we're going to go for Waldo, which is the guy behind you, probably.
Yeah, I won't. I got my headphones in, so he didn't hear that, and I can't tell him that, because then his confidence might be shaken. But no, it's exactly. I think we're gonna win, and I would, it'd be crazy if either of us said anything differently. But again, I think the exciting part is it's almost the first game of the season. It's kind of like it's like a final, like anything could happen in the first game. I think over history, if you look at games of leagues, season openers have always been the most unpredictable, the most exciting, entertaining. So it's going to be a great matchup. Tons of storylines, obviously, between, best buddies playing against each other. Zat's here playing against his previous club.
Joe DiChiara. So we both have insiders that are giving us details of the enemy. So it's whoever has done the homework. It's either Zats and you versus Joe, who's done the most homework tactically to let us know. You're a goalie, so you don't do tactics.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So it's really Zats versus Joe on
Zats
tactics.
versus Joe. Zats versus Joe.
I'm really hoping Jimmy doesn't come up to me. So what do you think Tommy's gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. Just talk to Zats. Get into some predictions, league predictions. I'll just throw them at you, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on it. And then you could ask me what you think. I think as well. But
okay.
Breakout Player of the Year.
So is Breakout Player of the Year? They were in CPL last year.
Yes.
And for me, I think it's easy, because, and it's also biased for sure, but if he can continue what he's been on this season with it and his health, Michael Petrasso if he's on, he's a quality player, and could be one of the top players in the league. So I wish him the best, and he knows it. So he could definitely be one of the breakout players of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually a really good pick. And now it's tough, because I had a player on my team that I was going to say. And to be honest, it's tough for me to even think of players on other team right now, because I've just been trying to learn all my teammates' names. So everything in my brain is just like York United right now. Top of my head, name a team right now.
Okay, I'll give you a team. Winnipeg.
Okay, not like against them. I can't think of Austin Richie. I think
nice.
Yeah, again, a guy that I've kind of known from back home a little bit, and exciting player. He's got a cannon of a right foot, and again, I think if he gets services into him, he could cause some havoc, and he could bag a few goals. So
he's good, man. I play with him at KW, and I think that's where we first met. I'm pretty sure, and I rate him as a player. If he gets good service into the box and into his feet, he could cause some trouble. So I think that's a good pick as well.
Perfect. Young player to watch.
Young player to watch. Young player to watch. I mean, all of York.
Damn right.
Or I'm cheating now that I'm going back to my team, but it's kind of difficult because how are we going to know the young players on the other teams unless we're following day by day? So I'll give a shout out to either Mo Farsi because he killed it last tournament. So now I want to see him play in a full season and see if he can be consistent. But also Jose Hernandez. I rate him as a player as well. He just hasn't had the chance to. You're smiling right now. Why are you smiling?
If he watches this, he is going to be so happy that his name has just been said. He is going to be buzzing.
Yeah, he is. He's gonna like post it on every story and all TikToks.
Which is good. If you did that thinking about it, then our marketing has just gone through the roof. So that's a very good play by you.
How about you?
Yeah, sticking to my team again. Same thing. A player that's been extremely exciting during the last 2 weeks of training and stuff, and kind of like getting to know him as a player and kind of understanding his personality, because I think that goes a long way in having success in this league. You know, do you have your head on your shoulders? Are you humble? Or are you hardworking and stuff like that? Is Max Ferrari, our team. He's gotten a huge engine. He's one of the fittest players on our team. He's really exciting. And he could cause havoc down the wing. He reminds me a little bit of Niko Pasquati, a little bit. So obviously Niko has had 2 great years in the league, had tons of success, and I think Max can kind of be that guy for us this year, minus the incredible long throw.
No one can match that. That's a Pasquati special.
Yeah. Exciting international.
Atletico Ottawa just signed, I think his name is Rafael Nunes. And I think he's coming from Atletico Madrid's youth or reserve team. And so he could be a very big addition to the league. I think he's a midfielder. I think he's 19 years old, and he could help this league grow as well if he takes off.
Richard Luca. For one, his IG is out of this world. It's been keeping me entertained for the last year. That's been exciting to watch, and I've heard that he's a good player. When we first signed him last year, there was obviously a bit of hype around his name and stuff like that. And anytime you get a young Brazilian coming to the league, you know, there's always that anticipation of, wow, could this guy be the next big thing, next big Neymar? So I would say I'm excited to see how he does. I hope he has a terrible game against us, but then I hope he excels against everyone else.
You just said next big Neymar. That's a lot of pressure. I don't think
I'm trying to put as much pressure on him as possible.
He can handle it. He's a good player, and he's a character as well. So hopefully that translates into creativity on the field and a lot of goals and assists for us. So that's a good pick.
Which current CPL player or players, if you got multiple on your mind, will be in the Canada squad come 2026 when we're hosting the World Cup? And if you need time to think, I got a player prepped in my mind right now.
Go ahead.
All right, Noah Verhoeven. He was obviously at Pacific the first 2 years. Now he's come to York United this offseason. He's actually my roommate, not here, but back when I'm living in York. He's exciting. Honestly, he's a player that's football obsessed. The way he thinks about the game, I think he has a very high soccer IQ. I think he's always trying to learn, always trying to get better, great work ethic. And he has that aspiration to be on that squad and kind of solidify his position on that team. So all the tangibles are there. Obviously, hopefully he keep having success. Hopefully he can have success this year and kind of propel himself to the next big thing. But yeah, he's an exciting player and definitely a player that has that it quality.
That gave me a good answer, and I think David Norman Jr. is all the same qualities that you just said. This guy, he has big aspirations in his soccer career, and he's already been in the Canadian system. So I think he continues with them, and as he grows, he actually reminds me a lot of Mark Anthony Kaye, and Mark Anthony Kaye is absolutely killing it right now with LAFC. This guy's been he went from Louisville to captain of LAFC in some games. Like it's an incredible ride that he has had, and he's absolutely destroying the game right now. So I think David could have an opportunity to be in that squad. He'd be the perfect age when it comes around, and it could bode well for him. Niko, I do think that we need to answer quickly, just quick fire, the Q&As that our fans put in on our Twitter. So
Definitely.
let me just most intimidating stadium that we've played at. What do you think? You go first. Quick fire.
That I played at was definitely
CPL.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Was Tim Hortons Field in the Canadian Championship game in 2019. Obviously, that game had a bit of fire in it, but when Malonga had that penalty at the end, the entire stadium was booing. I know there was lots of yells and chants and all that being called. It was an intimidating stadium, but it was a super exciting and fun stadium to play against. So that was the most intimidating stadium.
That would be my answer too. I think a lot of people would think Halifax and the kitchen, but we had success in Halifax. We were one of the few teams that had success in Halifax, and although I can see why it'd be intimidating, I think I'd go with Tim Hortons Field as well. I think Forge and us, the rivalry.
And the Halifax fans are just so nice.
They're too nice. They're so nice. It's just one big party there, and that's why I love to play there. It's one big party. Will Yorkie be resurrected from nowhere? Will Yorkie be resurrected?
I think Angus answered this one, and I'm going to go with the boss here, and a simple no.
So does York not have a mascot anymore? That you know of?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Maybe at home games there'll be a figure walking around.
I think this is how many goals will I score on Niko this season? Depends. We play you 4 times. Depends on how many games you play. Depends on how many games I play. Let's say 1 or 2. And I hope that Ledge lets me take the PK against you, so people will find out what you will do once I put that ball down.
Yeah, there's been
another question.
There's been a lot of speculation what I will do, and I'm not going to say anything. We'll have to wait and see till the moment comes.
Wait and see. I don't think you do it. I think you're checking out.
Well, there you go. I'll let you think.
Nikolaos, is coming back to Atco Field daunting at all, knowing that the foot soldiers will be on the opposing side instead of cheering you on?
Is it daunting? Is that the word?
Yeah.
No, it's not daunting at all. It's probably one of the games that I'm looking most forward to. Again, I have a great relationship with the foot soldiers, all the cavalry fans there.
You had.
Yeah, who knows? Although, if I could go through my DMs right now, it seems like we're still on great terms.
Nice.
But no, I'm really excited, and I hope they can throw as much abuse as they possibly can. I hope you give them as much ammo as you can. And it will be a awesome atmosphere, and I'm looking forward to it. And whenever half they're right behind me, I'm gonna give them a cheeky wink, and if they can make me laugh at some point during the game, I'm putting that goal for all cavalry fans out there to try to get a thumbs up or a little chuckle out of me at some point.
I think we have a lot of ideas of what we're going to be doing next for CanProFiles. But I don't want to say anything in stone just yet. We're always thinking of different things, and the circumstances always change. We don't know how much we're going to be able to interact in the bubble. So that's going to have to wait. It's obviously a lot difficult now that you've moved to York and I'm still in Calgary. But look at us now, making this one right here, making it work. Look at us.
Look at us.
Who would have thought?
Not me.
Not me.
Guys, it's been a pleasure. Next time you see us facing off like this, it'll be in a game. And tune in for the CPL kickoff in Winnipeg. It's going to be an exciting time. And subscribe to One Soccer, all the local CPL things. And let's get this league started. It's been a long time since we could play. and let's get it started.